change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's TVO, and today I want to talk about JC. Not that JC, but the other one, Jack Canfield, the guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul and like 40,000 other books. Well, I'm on his newsletter list, so I get an email today, and there's a quote in there that I want to talk about. But before I do, a moment ago I was thinking about the title of his book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And as a vegan, I find that profoundly disturbing. First of all, the idea that chicken soup is good for the flu or whatever people eat it for. Let's take a bird that's walking around clucking and eating ticks and other bugs on the ground, and we puree it. First we kill it, then we puree it, then we liquefy it, turn it into soup, and then we're like, oh, it's so soothing, liquefied bird. Well, this guy, Jack, had the idea that, well, if we purified and liquefied a bird and then applied it to our soul, drenched or soaked our soul in liquefied chicken, that somehow that's going to be soothing. And I just find that really disturbing. Yeah! Back to Jack's quote here. Here's what Jack has to say about successful people. Successful people maintain a positive focus in life no matter what is going on around them. They stay focused on their past successes rather than on their past failures and on the next action steps they need to take to get them closer to the fulfillment of their goals rather than all the other distractions that life presents to them. Jack, that's like the longest run-on sentence I think I've ever read, but let's break it down. Successful people maintain a positive focus in life no matter what is going on around them. Sounds good, right? Successful people, not distracted, don't care about bad things that are happening. They have their goal, they have their mission, and boom, they're right there. They focus on the steps. They stay focused on their past successes rather than on their past failures. Okay? So the good things, we focus on that, we celebrate that, we're proud of that, but we're not looking at our past failures. We don't focus on those. Not important. And the next action steps they need to take to get them closer to the fulfillment of their goals rather than all the other distractions that life presents to them. So life is happening, there's noises, there's conversations, there's emails like this one, and many other things going on, but nope, we focus on the next step. What is the next step? What is the next step? What is the next step? So you might think that this sounds a bit like what I talk about, my baby steps, getting into action. What is the next step? But this is the opposite of what I talk about. And when I read it, at first I was like, okay, all right. And then I thought, wow, this is really kind of offensive and insensitive, and it totally lacks compassion. And what he's describing is someone that is not present at all to anyone else in their life. They're not present to anything that's changing in the world around them. They simply have an idea, they have a goal, and that's it. That's all that matters. Get there at all costs. I don't care who I have to step on. In fact, I don't even know that I'm stepping on someone because I can't see them. I'm not paying attention to anything in my path, just the next step, and I don't care who's under my foot. You might think that's a little harsh, but he's basically talking about a person that's oblivious to anything but their goal and the next step to get there. Get there at all costs. And we're only focusing on the positives here. We're only focusing on our successes, not on our failures, otherwise known as confirmation bias, where you confirm all the good things that happen and you ignore all the data that doesn't support your beliefs about yourself. So he's talking about somebody in a delusional state who's engaging in motivated reasoning and confirmation bias. So they think they're great because they're not thinking about any of the times they have quote-unquote failed or any of the people that they might have hurt. No, we're only looking at the good things that we have done. I'm sure Saddam Hussein did a lot of good things for Iraq. And if we focus only on his successes, wow, this guy is amazing. Let's not look at his failures. Let's not look at the carnage and the torture and the imprisonments and the closing down of voices, otherwise known as censorship. Let's not look at that. Saddam Hussein was very successful. He was the leader of a country for a very long time. You can't get any more successful than that. This guy was the most powerful man in the Middle East. Fits Jack's description. And aside from describing what could be referred to as a sociopath, I find this offensive because he's setting people up to feel bad about themselves. This is what successful people do. And if you're not doing it, well, then you're not a successful person. I had the same issue with Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Great, those are highly effective people, but what about me? I'm not a highly effective person, and I don't fit the definition of success that Jack is giving here, so should I feel bad about myself? Well, no, you just need to aspire to become like this. Well, what if I'm not like that? What if I have a different kind of brain that works in a different way, sees the world in a very different way? Now, what Jack is describing here is someone that has a dominant left prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking or cognitive brain, your most advanced part of the brain, the left side is the approach side. The right side is the withdraw side. Left side curious, left side wants to get in there and find out what's going on. The right side is like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know, we should think about this first. It looks like there could be some problems and there's some things to consider here, and it's very cautious. People with depression have a very active right side and a very inactive left side. So the right side is always in withdrawal mode, and it's always coming up with reasons why you shouldn't be engaged. Some people are born with an overactive left side. Some people are born with an overactive right side. Assuming that balance is the way it should be, again, another reason to shame people, like, oh, if you're born with an overactive right side, you should be ashamed of that because you need to be balanced. Well, this is how I was born. Not much I can do about it. That's the brain I've got. So I've got to work to balance my brain, and it's something that doesn't happen automatically. It's something that I have to continually engage in. I have to keep firing up that left side, and I do that with my little steps. I do that when I pull back the covers. I do that when I'm present and I focus on the moment and engage in mindfulness practice. I'm helping to wake up the left side. When I play with words, when I find new definitions for words or look at the Latin etymology of words, I'm waking up the left side because the left side is where language is processed. So, Jack's definition, basically he's saying, well, you just need to be a left-brained person. Well, what if you're not? Are you not highly effective? Are you not successful? And that's the lot you're stuck with. He's not telling us how to get there. He's not telling us which steps to take to get to this type of brain, which I don't think you'd want anyways. Again, this person is not present. They're not considerate of the world around them. They're not focused on past failures. You see, I don't believe in the word failure. When people talk about failure, they're talking about an expectation that was not met. But what is an expectation? Or should I say, what does an expectation have to do with reality? Nothing. Reality shows up the way reality shows up, and there's nothing you can do about that. You get what you get. It's not like, hey, vanilla or chocolate. It's like, here, vanilla. But I don't want vanilla. I want chocolate. Vanilla. But I want chocolate. Vanilla. I never get chocolate. Vanilla. Actually, reality doesn't get mad at you. It doesn't yell at you. It's just like, here, vanilla. Here, vanilla. And you're like, I don't want it. So that's what failure is. Failure is when you have an expectation that doesn't look like reality. My definition of success is, well, I want chocolate, but I've got vanilla, so what can I do with vanilla? Maybe I could trade vanilla to someone that doesn't like chocolate, who has chocolate, and would rather have vanilla. So life gives me vanilla. It's like, hey, dude, who wants vanilla? Somebody's going to say, oh, I like vanilla. And then you trade and you get your chocolate. That's success. So failure is a belief that reality needs to meet our expectations. It must meet our expectations because I have this goal, I have this mission, and I'm only going to focus on the steps and success. And these failures, I'm just going to put out of my mind and ignore them. They're only failures if you're not present. See, he says, well, we don't want to focus on the other distractions that life presents. Like the guy over there that's looking for vanilla. Is he a distraction? He's like, does anybody have vanilla? Excuse me, do you have vanilla? And like, stop, leave me alone. I'm being distracted here. I've got to make some chocolate because life is not giving me chocolate. But, excuse me, sir, could I have some vanilla? And you're like, leave me alone. Is that a distraction? Or is that an opportunity to say, ooh, here, well, would you like my vanilla? And could I have your chocolate? So the things that he calls distractions, I call opportunities. I call ingredients. What are you going to do with them? Life is giving you what it gives you. What are you going to do with it? You can take it, you can use it, you can plant it, you can create with it, you can trade it. That's what commerce is. It's about trading things. But most people reject what they get and then they wait around for their magical dream fantasy to come true. I just want to manifest the future. I want to manifest this thing that I want, rather than saying, well, this is what I've got. Who might want it and what could I trade it for? Or could I turn it into something better? Or could I plant it in the ground and grow something? Is it a seed? So I don't believe in failure, because I don't expect reality to meet my expectations. Do you hear that? I don't expect reality to meet my expectations. And if I find that I have expectations, I'm setting myself up for failure. So I don't think success is about bludgeoning your way through the world, only confirming your successes and puffing yourself up and being self-important and saying, I'm a successful because I don't even think about my failures. I'm always a success. And you people are just distracting and you're lazy and you're not doing anything. Well, maybe these people are your future clients. Maybe these people are allies that could help you get further than you're getting on your own. When I worked in casting in Los Angeles, casting films and TV shows, we always used to tell people, the audition starts in the parking lot. Because you don't know who you just parked next to. Maybe you parked next to me, the casting person. Or maybe the director's coming back from lunch, or the producer, and you happen to be parking at the same time. And that guy who cut you off in the parking lot, well, maybe that's the guy that's going to give you the job. Or maybe he's the guy in the elevator with you. The audition starts in the parking lot. And often it starts before that. It starts as you're turning into the parking lot, because maybe there's some interaction there. But are these distractions? Are these people just in your way to get to the next thing? As a casting assistant, I used to sit in the waiting room with the other actors, but they didn't know who I was. But I would watch them. I would see how they interacted with each other. I'd see how they treat each other. Their audition had already started before they got in the room, and they didn't know that. Because I would take notes, I would look, and then I'd tell the boss. I'd say, this person doesn't play well with others. Because that's important on a set. How well do people get along? If we're going to be stuck together in some remote location for 4 months, I want to make sure that we all get along and you're not going to cause any problems. So, Jack, I totally disagree. I think one should be present and one should take things into consideration, because that's how you grow. Because you've got this idea and you're going to steamroll it, but what if it's the wrong idea? What if that next step that you take gives you some new information or presents some new information that if you had paid attention to, you'd realize that maybe this direction is not the best one. Maybe we need to course correct. But if you're just steamrolling on your path and you've got it plotted out on paper what each of these steps are, well, that new information coming along that's going to save your butt, you probably consider that a distraction, because it doesn't look anything like the list and the action plan that you wrote out. And maybe that's a person that you could help, and maybe helping them changes their life in a way that dramatically transforms yours. But no, these are just distractions, right? Because what's really important is that I get my goal, that I am a success, and I stand on top of the mountain alone, victorious, triumphant. Alone. You got there, but who are you when you got there? So how do you measure success? Is it about the person who has the most money, the most power, the most toys? Or is it the guy or the gal who has the most friends, has the most loving connections, really is present to each moment when they experience something? They really experience it fully and slowly, and they enjoy it, and they don't hurry off to some meeting that's more important than the moment at hand. Those are my thoughts on Mr. Jack Canfield and his drenching of your soul with blended liquefied chicken. Let me know what you think, all right? See ya.